Hi, here at InfoSec 2024 with Rick Jones from DigitalXRAID. Hey Rick, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. First things first, DigitalXRAID, what is it you do, and what kind of things are you trying to fix or help with?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a full services cyber business. So we offer cyber assurance for organizations, delivered across three major tranches, so offensive, defensive, and compliance. So we take our customers on a journey and build a security solution that's based on risk and offering the right protection for that business.
That's great. So basically, rather than just a cookie cutter fits all type thing, actually looking at where the risk lies and addressing the problems.
Absolutely. Not every cybersecurity strategy is the same. And I think the cookie cutter approach, people buy policies off the shelf and that fit. It doesn't really work. As an example, a manufacturing company, if you talk about the CIA triangle, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, all those are important to the manufacturing company, but availability of their manufacturing plant is paramount versus a bank. Again, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, all very important, but the integrity of that data is probably more important than the availability of a website. So it's been apply the right strategy to the accepted residual risk for that company at the right cost as well.
Absolutely. Given that basically every business is different, do you see any overarching trends in kind of threats? What are some of the top line things you're seeing as kind of things that people need to, regardless of sector, think a little bit more about?
Yeah, so I think that, there's an organization, you've only got to look at something like Ticketmaster. So, Ticketmaster recently been hacked. Have they got an InfoSec team? Probably, yes. Have they got a security department? Yes. Have they got loads of security mandates? Yes. But so why have they been hacked? And I think a lot of the time it's the basics. It's really important to come to an organization when you're ready, to someone like DigitalXRAID or any of these fantastic businesses that can support and build your business. But the reality is a lot of people overlook the basics and think they can go to a shiny tool, tick a load of boxes, and it's done. It's just not the case.
Absolutely. And that is true. There's been a lot of talk around, ransomware and things like that, and whether to pay ransomware or not, ransomware gangs being taken down. But one thing that's starting to develop is this collaboration between public and private sector. Are you seeing any of that, and what are your opinions around that?
Yeah, in terms of collaboration, in terms of using unfortunately, generally, the best knowledge tends to come from the private sector. It's fast flowing, it's bleeding edge in terms of and I think that government sectors need to work very closely with the private sector in order to get some of that knowledge. It's not something that I've seen firsthand, a lot of collaboration, I'll be honest. I'd be interested to see how it works because, one is a behemoth, slow-moving engine, and the other one is very fast and agile. So it'd be interesting to see that collaboration, how it comes together.
Absolutely. Certainly sounds good in a press release, but
yeah,
whether or not it comes to pass in any meaningful fashion is another thing.
Yeah.
Third-party risk is another thing that people seem to be now looking at, especially with, ever since SolarWinds, but even before that, what are your thoughts on that? Is it something that companies that you're dealing with are taking seriously enough, or too seriously, or some thoughts?
Yeah, no. So obviously, the reality of business is collaboration. You have to collaborate to stay agile and to win business, and that means opening yourself up with third parties. And if you're only thinking about, cyber security within your business, very linear, and you're not thinking about how you're opening yourselves up with these third parties and how that affects your brand. So yeah, it's massively important, and we're seeing legislation drive that behaviour and governance drive that behaviour. In terms of mergers and acquisitions and due diligence, cybersecurity is now playing a major part. People are understanding that an impact through a cyber incident is going to devalue a business. So the M&A market is now looking at due diligence, not just from financial records and things like that, but what they're doing around cyber. And we're going to, through this merger, are we going to end up with something that's not worth any value because it's had a hack? So, yeah.
Absolutely. A lot like when you buy a car, you need to understand, okay, so it looks shiny right now, but has it been maintained? Does it have a full service history? Is it just, that black paint around the tires, or, that's actually solid.
Absolutely. I think there's different approaches towards cybersecurity. There's people who are in business that if governance didn't exist, they wouldn't spend the money because they don't need to. So governance plays a part in making sure that organizations are taking responsibility for their data and their assets and their customers.
Yeah.
And then there's, which are not necessarily technology companies per se, as in like you think of a technology company, you'd go an ISP, or when you think of a non-technology company, you might think of a logistics company, but really they're all technology companies now.
Absolutely.
And they're all heavily reliant, and they don't necessarily have technology people, security people driving that behavior. But now it's changing, where they are people like CISOs and making them think and challenge the status quo from a security perspective, even though their functional requirement is to deliver boxes to people's houses. So security is massive now. And organizations, whether they're forced to do it through compliance or they're understanding now the asset they've got that they need to protect through cyber, I think it's growing. I think in terms of the maturity of that, the younger generation who are going to come through and be the next level of CISOs will take that even further.
Absolutely. And it's really interesting. So what I'm hearing really is that companies are now starting to finally realize, whether or not they realize they're a technology company or not, that they have to do security, or at least understand the scope of their security. A lot of the basics are not being done and should be being done.
Yeah.
And it's a good idea to collaborate. We are strongest when we understand who we're collaborating with, and that's being done in a positive manner and a manner in which can be secured. And there are people like yourselves at DigitalXRAID that can help people along that journey.
Yeah, and that's it. It's really important. So I was a cybersecurity architect. I've been in cybersecurity for many years. Set up DigitalXRAID because cyber is a passion of ours, and we want to make sure that organisations don't fall foul of cyber attacks, and it impacts businesses, to the point that small businesses go bust. So we want to make sure that businesses, wherever they are on that journey, have got the right level of protection at the right value, and then we grow with them.
That makes a lot of sense. Great. Thank you so much for your time. I wish you a great trade show.
You too. Thank you.